Well, Broad Street is such an important artery in the city of Philadelphia, and so much of my father's work is situated on Broad Street, and so much of his time was spent going up and down Broad Street. So I think it's meaningful, and I'm grateful that he's being recognized in that way, especially on a street where he spent so much time and invested so much of his resources to help support the community.
Today is important because Reverend Sullivan was not only a man of Philadelphia, but he was a man of the country and a man of the world. And I'm hoping that this is just the first step to acknowledging his greatness in Philadelphia, in America, and in the world. You have to start somewhere, and I think this is a significant step in acknowledging the greatness, the genius, and the trailblazing of Reverend Leon Howard Sullivan. That's why today is important.
It's important to me by Build, Brother, Build. That's the message. That message hasn't changed. Still in 2019, the same message. Those are the kinds of things we need to do, particularly in the African American community. Build, brother, build. We need to keep trying to build, own, occupy, build wealth. And through building wealth, you build opportunity. Reverend Leon Sullivan was definitely the one that laid the course for that, and still today. So I'm clearly learned an awful lot from what he's done, and I'm trying to duplicate his effort.
Well, I think that a lot of times when people transition, when they pass away, people tend to forget some of our really mighty oak trees, and he was a mighty oak tree. And I think that unless you see the name in front of you, or unless you're continually reminded of the genius of this man, that people would forget. Although we can take advantage of the benefits that through his life he left us, but I think it's important to give homage to him and respect him. Because he was truly a son of Philadelphia. He did amazing things here, and it's just good to see that he's being remembered in that way, in a way that will extend his life for many, many years.
Talking about the Sullivan principles and all of the things that he brought to us, making an understanding and clear-cut, concise vision of what we should be doing, not only on this stage but on the world stage.
But I think is in some ways more relevant today. The idea of build and not burn, because when he said that, he was contrasting it to kids at that time who were saying, burn, baby, burn. He said, no, build. We need that spirit just as much, if not more, today than during the time he lived.
So his legacy is not only the things that he accomplished in life, but it lives on in each and every one of us who were touched by him, were touched by somebody who touched him. And the waves of the impact that Dr. Sullivan created for our community are likely to be with us into the indefinite future.
Lest we forget, a giant walked among us. A giant who began creating alternatives to despair as a community activist in Harlem, New York. A giant who stepped into Philadelphia and encourage the people to build, brother, build, at a time when cities around the country, like Philadelphia, were self-destructing. Thank you, Philadelphia, for recognizing the giant who walked among us and left a footprint that in all likelihood is unlike any footprint of any other African American in the country.
So we want to do this here so you all can see it. On behalf of the city of Philadelphia, we would like to give you this sign so you can take with you, because I know you don't get to Philadelphia all the time, but if you kind of look up, this is clearly something that's so significant to us, and we just want to thank you. God bless you, and thank you for sharing your dad with us for all those years. All right.